Let's talk about washing your dishes. So you want to make sure what is going on your dishes to clean them doesn't leave a residue behind for you to ingest. So we have a ultrazyme enzyme based, very concentrated, does not pollute the water table, and is not harmful to us because this stuff is pretty clean rinsing, very concentrated. Little cup, I use half of a scoop. I do use the Rinse Aid, it's Rinse Aid Plus, and I dilute it by about half. I live in the Buffalo area. We have very hard water here and I've never had a problem. And believe me, I experimented in the beginning. I like to use the least amount of products because I always had the mindset more is better. How could a small amount do such an extraordinary job? It does. So I wanted to share that ahead of time. And if you're doing dishes by hand, we now have this scrub brush. It has a little dispenser for the soap. You give it a squeeze here. If the soap comes out, do your dishes so it's less wasteful. Our soap, I don't know if you can see it in there. This is the dish soap. It is super thick, very concentrated. The next thing you could do if you didn't want to use the brush or if it was you're washing something different, and the brush does have backlock. So there's microsilver in the brush. This does not have backlock. This is our netted dishcloth, and I loved this because in the beginning, I didn't want to switch from that blue dish soap. Well, there's no reason any dish soap should be, or any soap that we use should be that color. That should be a red flag that that's going to be some type of endocrine disruptor along with fragrances, unless the fragrance comes from an essential oil, which is all of the fragrances or any color that is in any of our products. That's where it comes from. It's not anything artificial that's going to be harmful to us. So I like this dishcloth with the Biozyme, which is a very concentrated, so you put it in a spray bottle and it gives a foaming action. This does really well on dishes, and even though I'm not using the blue dish soap anymore, I still like to use this. My husband doesn't. It's a personal preference. This is really big and you can bunch it up. This can also be used in the shower instead of one of those loofahs that is going to be all jammed up, because you can rinse it out and hang it up to dry and it's not going to be growing any gross stuff in there. Very scientific. So my husband, when he does dishes, he likes to use a sponge. Well, you don't want one of those nasty sponges that is just a giant breeding ground for bacteria. This is the Enviro sponge. It's scrubby on one side, an Enviro cloth on the other. And yes, this is mine that we use for dishes. He can do the same thing. He can spray this with the dish soap, get his dishes done, wipe down the counter with it, which is generally what I use this for. But it's personal preference, right? If you need a little extra oomph, we have the Sperry sponge or the Spironette. They're kind of self-explanatory. It goes by level. The other thing I want to talk about, if you're doing your dishwasher, please make sure if you have to get your manufacturer instructions, take the filter out. I try to do this at least once a month. You can see that there's stuff gunked up in here. No dishwasher is going to work well if it's not clean on the inside. Even though it's cleaning your dishes, we still have to clean the dishwasher. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take some Biozyme, because it's Zyme. Any of our Zymes are enzyme based. I take our utility brush. I give it a quick scrub. I scrub out this piece as well. I put it back together. I put it back in my dishwasher, and your dishwasher will thank you and will actually work better at cleaning your dishes. So those are a few options that we have that are a safer alternative to what we've been sold has to be used, or you're not going to get it as clean. You will really be surprised. And I have switched to primary glass for my storage containers, but I still have some silicone and some plastic, and the silicone is definitely safer than the regular plastic, but I could never get that greasy feeling off of them. The Norwex dish soap is what sold me because it got those clean. Secret code word, I almost forgot, dishes. Don't forget to text me.